and welcome to the Stock Planner channel. Today I'd like to look at 3 stocks that I think are going to go up over the next 2 or 3 months. I'm a swing trader. I'm looking for the tops and the bottoms in hopes to make some profit. As you can see, Coca-Cola has went up and it's pulled back, and perhaps we're going to have a reversal. But that's not the stock I want to talk about. I want to talk about Verizon, Union Pacific, and Lockheed Martin. All those stocks, Verizon had a tremendous rise and then a pullback, a pretty severe pullback. Union Pacific moving on up and then on down. And I think it's going to reverse very soon. And Lockheed Martin, all during this Middle East unrest, Lockheed Martin has done well because they sell missiles. And then recently had a pullback over the last 5 or 6 days. I think it's going to be a small pullback and then a rise. So before I start discussing these stocks, I want to remind you that the Stock Planner channel is a information channel. We're swing traders, and we each do our own due diligence. These are not trade recommendations. In fact, I would not recommend anybody taking any advice from the internet. Do your own due diligence, learn it, and win. Let's get started. Is Lockheed Martin, ticker symbol LMT, had a nice run up over the last couple months, and we look a little pullback here. Just had earnings, and people think if Donald Trump gets elected, he'll focus on some military, building our military back up, and that's good for Lockheed Martin. However, looking at the RSI, we see we had a pop-up over 80. That normally means go down, and that's what's happened. But now it's under the 30, and that means maybe go up. A reversal might happen. The MACD is well above the 0 line, pointing down, and that's still a negative type situation. When you had a MACD crossover in the past, you see that we had a slight downturn. Of course, when you had an MACD crossover well below the 0 line, pointing up, you had a long run up. So I use these 2 indicators, the RSI and the MACD, to help me determine when there could be a reversal. The analysts have this as a buy, and over the next year, they're saying it's going to go up about 9%. This is an expensive stock, so if you have a small account, you might consider using an option or just buy less shares. Lockheed Martin is an aerospace company making missiles and other weapon systems, and it should do well, and it has been doing well in this turbulent times. It's trading and still trading at 25% below the fair market value. So it's still got some room to grow. It's a dividend stock, and it pays 2.35%. And according to Simply Wall Street, it's trading at a good value compared to its peers. Significant insider trading, maybe that's a sign that it will pull back a little bit. Lockheed Martin recently reported earnings, and the stock went down a little bit. The report indicated that sales have leveled off, despite the report beating expectations. The F-35 is an expensive aircraft. How many they build in the future is up to negotiation. And according to Simply Wall Street, it remains a buy. I worked for Boeing for many years, and right now they're striking. They have a strike going on, so while I do like the aerospace industry, I'm going to look into Lockheed Martin. How about you? Is this worth putting on your watch list? I think it is. Lockheed Martin, pull back and then continue to rise. RSI says it's a reversal soon. The MACD says it's still going down a little bit, but keep an eye out for that reversal. Now, before I go on, I want to talk about TradingView. They have a new screener. I think they call it 2.0. I use watch lists. This is an ETF watch list, and I turned them all blue, K-on blue. And there's 160 stocks that I know and love. And that's what I trade from. I don't trade through the whole universe. And I'm looking for stocks that are, the MACD is above the 0 level. In other words, it had a run up and has had a pullback, where the RSI is below the 40 or 30. A lot of people use 30. And you can set this nicely to the chart. You can do charts or you can do table format. but I looking at the charts because I'm looking for stocks that I can maybe go long on, because I think the stock market is going to go up after the election. And Union Pacific is one. It had a run up and it has a pullback. And it's telling me that maybe it'll go up. And this is a whole list of the stocks. I think was there 19 of them? I think there's 19 of them. Nope, doesn't look like that. Looks like about 10. And then you can see that Union Pacific, ticker symbol UNP, has had an earnings. Let's see what that's about. But you can see that it was trading at around 239, 240, and then popped down. So that would indicate that the earnings were not too hot. And I like that because this is a good stock. And a good stock will tend to fill that gap up. I don't know when it's going to fill it up. It might take up to 2 or 3 months. But reasonably would expect this stock to come back up to 234. And it's trading right currently now at 230. 236, somewhere around in there. At least that. Let's see how bad that earnings report was. Going over to Simple Wall Street and selecting Union Pacific. We can see that it had great past performance. It pays a dividend. And it's probably undervalued, according to Snowflake. The future doesn't look as too bright, but hey, it should go up. And then we just read about it. And we all know that Union Pacific is a railroad company. It's undervalued by 17 or 18%. That's good for a long earnings growth of about 7%. These type of companies, they're not growing that much. Earnings grew last year by 4.3%. Pays a dividend, and of course has a lot of debt. Third quarter misses. Revenue is up, income is up, profit margins even up. Revenue growth is not going to meet what the industry growth is, which is the growth of about 4.5, industry's 8.1. Earnings per share decreased by 2% over the last 3 years. Well, it doesn't look terrible. So if you believe in the 50% retracement rule, that stock should come back up over time over the next 2 or 3 months. As I said, the RSI is below the 30. That usually indicates a reversal, but then you just had that earnings, so it could stay down here a little bit. And the MACD is below the zero line. I like that, but it is pointing down. It could stay down in this area a little while. But if you do an option play out to about February or March, this gap should fill. And again, if the economy improves based on the election results, Union Pacific could do quite well. And if whoever wins the election improves our infrastructure, invests in our infrastructure, Union Pacific could take advantage of that as well. What do you think? It looks like Coca-Cola had a pullback, and so does Verizon. And I'm looking for a tech company, so let's take a look at what Verizon has done, what's happening here. And if you use this screener, you can click on the stock, and you can kind of take a look at the fundamentals here. The analyst rating is a buy, and they think it's going to go up 12%, 13% over the next year, with a price target of 46. So the analysts say it's going to go up. We'd like to go long. We think it's pulled back far enough, according to the chart. We're going to look at some fundamentals. I don't know why I like Verizon. I just paid my bill $230 for phone service. That's for my family. Looking at the chart, you see that run up and it's pulled back. The last 3 days, it looked like it's going down. We had earnings a few days ago. There's your RSI. Wants to have a reversal. And your MACD is still pointing down. RSI says a reversal. MACD says it's not over yet, and it has not switched around. I'm a swing trader. I'm looking for those reversals. Going to Simply Wall Street, finding Verizon, looking at Snowflake. It pays a dividend. Hey, it's undervalued. You can see this. It's a healthy company, and it has a pretty good future. Past, not so hot. Past performance has not been hot. It's trading at 72% below its fair value. That's good. Earnings are forecast to grow by 16%. That's good. And they wrote off a lot of stuff. That's probably why the financials are so good. And the profit margin hasn't been so hot. According to Simply Wall Street, it says buy the drop. Well, that's good advice. This is what I'm saying. Verizon's third quarter exceeded expectations. Shares dropped by 5% on Tuesday, undeservingly. Strong broadband growth. Shares are attractively valued at 11% earnings yield, making a prime target for income investors. So that's a good report. Earnings dropped 5% back to this level on that big drop. Will it go up? I think it will. And I think this will be a good stock for about 3 months out. It should fill that gap somewhere in here. Currently trading at $41.38, should go to about 43. Back to the scanner, we looked at Verizon. We had a little drop, pullback, and we think it's going to go up. Union Pacific, same drop, and we're hoping for a rise over the next 2 or 3 months. Same with Verizon, 2 or 3 months rise. And Lockheed Martin. Now, this didn't drop so far, but I'm anticipating that the situation in the Middle East and the election here is going to have some impact on this stock. Now, I have other business interests, and tomorrow I'm taking my wife to the hospital to get a checkup for a recent operation. And so I'm not going to have a lot of time to trade. That's why I look at these stocks on a Sunday night, so that while I'm waiting in a waiting room, I can use my cell phone and make some trades. I hope you've all doing your preparations for tomorrow as well. This should be an interesting week. This is the last week of the election cycle. All right. Have a good week. Happy trading. We'll catch you in the flip. Remember, do your own due diligence. These are not trade recommendations.